Back in the 90s, we did three one-act plays, and this is one of them. Barbara says that on her 95th birthday, I would like to redo this. Joint owners in Spain. And you read that name and you say, what? And we all say the same thing. After doing the play, this will be the second time, we still don't know. So if you figure it out, let us know after. But Barbara wanted to redo it, and I was glad to direct it the second time. Many years apart, you can forget what the play is all about and start over again. And we look around and we see family, friends, and we see people that have met Barbara in all different manners. Whereas theater, whereas poetry, whatever it might be, she has so many friends here. And this is just a sampling to see how many is here. And to sit back and enjoy a play that we've had a lot of fun working with. So enjoy Joint Owners in Spain.
Come. Have I got all my things? Oh, it's a terrible piece of work to move from one room to another. I'd most as lief take a journey by train.
If anybody's going to move, I'd say it, and I'd say if it was the last breath I had to take, it ought to be me. Here she's had her dinner brought up to her on a waiter, and now she goes flaunting off to a room where the sun lays all year long. And here be I, in this room I ain't left since one night since I moved in.
Have I got my aprons?
Yes, Mrs. Fortune, I packed them myself.
Have I got my bonnet?
Yes, 'tis here in your hand.
Have I got my flannel nightgown?
Yes. I brought it over on my arm, and you should find it hanging on the bedpost. Come.
Have I got my extra petticoat?
Yes, you do. Everything, Mrs. Fullerton, every single thing. Hurry up. The matron is standing outside the door of your new room. She'll help you settle in and make sure you get acquainted with your roommate. Miss Dyer, I'd like to have a little talk with you. Oh, what a world this is. There's some that's meant to reap, and there's some that's meant to sow. And there goes Liza Jane Fullerton, flaunting off to a room where the sun lays all day long. And nobody knows who's going to be in here along with me. Miss Dyer, I'm going to speak very plainly to you. I've been looking into things, and I find that your case is one of the worst ones in this home. So it is. And I'd swear to that before judge and jury. I ain't a real woman, and I ain't been this 20 years. I don't mean your health. I mean your disposition. My soul and body. My disposition when I bought everything except in debt, and I
never once asked why do you so?
We had to move Mrs. Fullerton to another room because you wore her out.
My land alive. Why, day after day, I ain't said one word to her from sunrise to set.
Well, that's it. She's a poor, half-sick old woman, and you cried and complained and moped until she's scared out of her wits. She can't sleep at night.
Never anybody ever said such a thing to me. Never since I draw the breath of life.
Well, everybody knows that you're cantankerous and they have to bear with you. Every single roommate you've had, you've worn out in the same way. Well, now it's time we do something about it.
Oh, I wish I'd have died in my cradle long ago with Mother.
There are only two of you in this home who are impossible to live with. You and Mrs. Blair.
Miranda Blair? Well, I have my say about Miranda Blair if I'm hung for it. Why, there ain't a man, woman, nor child in this county that don't know Miranda Blair. You couldn't get along with her if you was the seraphim round the throne. And we ain't no more like than chalks like cheese.
No, you're different, but one is as bad as the other. Ever since you moved into this home, no other woman has been able to live with either one of you for more than a month.
Oh, my soul and body. I never thought I'd live to see this day.
Well, we tried to get the best roommates for you, but that didn't work. I don't know. You proved, both of you, that you can't live with the saints of the earth. So, we're going to put both of you in this room together so you can fight it out. Mrs. Blair, is that you? Come on in, Mrs. Blair. This is your new roommate.
I did not trapped before I left my comfortable home down in Tiverton Hollow. Story and a half house, good cellar, and woods nigh full of sarsaparilla and goldthread and pine. I moved more times in this godforsaken place than a Methodist preacher. One room and then another. And bad is the best. For poor pickings of poor. But this is the crown of this people.
Well, ladies, I'll let you both get settled.
What under the sun be ye carrying on like that for? Snuffing and sighing and dropping them crocodile tears. You ain't lost nobody, have you, since I moved in here? I don't know what you got to complain of no more than the rest of us. Look at that dress you got on, a good thick ribbon. Mine's a cheap, sleazy cotton. They palmed off on me when they see my My eyesight weren't of the best. And you sitting there in the sun, getting het through. Over here on my side, it's as cold as a barn. My land, it don't make me hopping to see anybody with no more spirit than a wet rag. If you lost anybody by death, why don't you say so? And if it's a mad fit, speak up and say that.
I ain't never been one to keep the sun off in anybody. And I ain't ever been one to take more than is mine. And I'd say that it was the last minute I had to breathe. Why,
My land. Talk about my tongue. Vinegar's nothing to cold molasses if you gotta plow through it. My soul. Here's one of them photograph fellas come to take the house. And there's Jane Black and Nancy Potter and half a dozen more all lined up there waiting to be took. Here, you keep right where you be. I'm gonna be took. Where's my bandbox? Where Miss Mitchell put my bandbox? My soul, where's my bunny? Where's my bandbox? Anybody's hid my bandbox ought to be biled and aisled. Hanging's too good for it. Just let me get my eye on them, and they shall swing for it. Oh, yes, they shall. Hiram Gilroy's kite.
I ain't deep.
I don't care whether you're deaf or dumb or whether you're numbering a Beatles. You might grind some folks in a mortar and still couldn't open theirs. Well, my soul. If you weren't there sitting on it and wouldn't speak. Wait till I get my shots. He's gone. All the while I was finding my bonnet, he kept right on. And now the picture's took, and I ain't in it.
I don't know what to say. If I speak, I'm to blame. And 'tis worse if I keep still.
The same man come last summer. And he said he wanted another view when the leaves was off. That time I was laid up with my stiff ankle. And today my bonnet was hit. And I lost it again.
Dear me, sirs.
And I should like to know whose fault it was.
Ain't nobody can charge me with it. And I'd say that it was the last minute I had to live.
If them that owns the windows and sits by him so she couldn't pry him out with a crowbar has spoke up and said, Miss Blair, there's the photograph man. Don't you want to be took? It wouldn't have been too late. If anybody hadn't hitched their chair around so it's hid my bandbox, it wouldn't have been too late. And I ain't had my likeness took since I was 20-year-old and went to the Sudley Fair in my changeable visite and Leghorn hat. And Jonathan wore the brocaded waistcoat he stood up in next week of Thursday. Enough to make a minister swear.
My soul and body, what be I coming to?
I suppose there's no need of my setting down. The quality can keep their dinner trays piled up over every chair in the room.
That waiter wasn't brought here on my call nor on my behoof. And that's the truest word I ever spoke.
It's all in the day's work. Some folks are waited on and some ain't. Some has their victuals brought to them and pushed under their noses, and some has to go to the table. When they're there, they can take it or leave it. For my part, I shouldn't think a waiter'd be enough. I should think you'd have had an extension table rolled in and a snowdrop cloth.
Anybody can move that waiter as a mind to. Why, I'd have done it myself if I had the strength, but I ain't got it. I ain't a well woman, and I ain't been this 20 years. But I never knew the worst, because the worst hadn't come yet.
Huh. To think of all the wood I burned up in my airtight and my kitchen stove and thought nothing of it. To think of all the wood there is now, growing and rotten from Dan to Beersheba, and I can't lay my fingers on it.
I don't know what you want with wood. It's hot enough in here for us to fry it in.
You don't know what I want on it? Well, I'll tell you. I want some 2-inch boards to nail up a partition in the middle of this room. I don't want no more of my own, but I want it mine.
Well, you needn't have no regrets about laying out for boards. Wouldn't take more than knee high to keep me out.
What'd you say?
Wouldn't take more than a shingle's thickness to keep me out. I ain't one to go where I ain't wanted. And I don't care who says it, I never shall be. And if I ever was, I'm cured it now.
Last week, they said you was marking out a tumbler quilt. You must have had a piece of chalk. Where is it?
Here it is. But don't you go doing nothing way out of line with it, because I don't want to get into any trouble here.
You get up here. Take that in.
Oh, don't you throw me into nothing. I ain't that kind.
Step over there to the middle square of that window. Hold your end of the string down on the floor. I'll snap it.
Miss Mitchell!
You step in here and do as I tell you. Here's the spot. You stand right there.
I don't know what you're up to. You're as crazy as a little Miss Blair. And here I be, shut up in this room with you. And Miss Mitchell ain't within hearing. And I wish my troubles was over and I was under the sod.
You stand there and stand still. Don't you ease up now. How wonderful are the ways of providence. Yes, finding out. Here we be, yoked up together. And the yoke is lifted. We're gonna lay down in separate stalls. Step off on it, will you? You give me the chalk. I'll go over it and make it so anybody can see it in the dead of night.
Miss Blair, I don't know what you're doing, no more than the dead. But don't you go marking up the floors, Miss Blair. Now you stop it. Why, it's terrible. Mischievous to go marking up floors.
There. Now, here's 2 rooms, and here's the partition.
It
See?
ain't nothing but a mark.
The chalk marks the position. You can have the morning sun, for I just as soon live by a taller candle in a place that's my own. Give me the chalk. I'll chalk a lane to the closet, so we can both keep a ray away.
Oh, Miss Blair, we're gonna get into a heck of trouble with you marking up the floors. Oh.
Now, I'm to home, and so be you. But don't you dare to speak a word to me unless you come knock here on my footboard.
What I wanted to do that for?
The footboard's my front door. If I want to run into your house, I'll come knock on yours. Well, if I ain't glad to be alone. I've hung my harp on a wheeler long enough. Oh, praise God from whom all blessings flow. Praise Him, all creatures here below. Praise Him, da 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 dee da 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 da. Oh. That you, Miss Dyer? Come right in.
No, I didn't come to stop.
I suppose you was going by and see me at the window. I am proper busy. I was just getting around to measuring off my setting room. Seems to me it needs new paper.
But this paper ain't no more than You know, I've been thinking to paper myself, only I ain't picked out the pattern yet.
What should you say to a kind of a straw color, all lit up with tulips?
Ain't that kind of gay?
Gay? Well, you wanted gay. I don't see why folks have got to live in a hearse just because they're going to ride in one. What have we been getting on in the years? We ain't underground yet, be we?
No, I suppose not.
I see a 10-cent paper once, all covered over with green brakes and pond lilies.
Well, I'll be darned.
But whether I paper or whether I don't, I've got some thoughts of a magenta Sophie.
Miss Blair, ain't you the tasty one?
Mrs. Blair, Miss Dyer. Well, isn't this snug and cozy?
Well, it's so nice to see you. Come right in and sit right down.
Got settled, Mrs. Blair? Mrs. Blair, are you getting settled?
Is she feeling well?
Why, it's such a beautiful day, isn't it? If it was summertime, I'd say there was a sea turn.
Mrs. Blair, I'm going to bring over some cashmere for a dress. Mrs. Blair?
Oh, well, if it ain't Miss Mitchell. I can't say I didn't expect you, for I see you going into Miss Dyer's not more than a minute back. Seems to me you make short calls. Now, you just sit down right here where you can see out.
Well,
Mrs. Blair, I hope you and Miss Dyer are going to be very happy in this room.
I expect to be as gay as a cricket. I like to keep to myself, but a good neighbor is a terrible nice thing to have.
And I'm sure Miss Dyer means to be a very good neighbor. Well, the car is coming around to get me in a minute, and I was wondering if you and Miss Dyer would like to go out for a half hour.
Oh, Lord, I'd go anywhere to get out of here. I don't know when I've sat in the car. I guess the last time was the day I rid up here for good. But then I didn't feel much interest in outdoor.
Miss Dyer, what about a spin?
Miss Mitchell, I may be queer in my notion that when folks take to hollering out my windows, it makes me nervous as a witch. If you want to speak to Miss Dyer, you come along after me. Don't you hit the petition now. Right out of my door and into hers. Here, I'll knock. Miss Dyer, be to home?
Yes, I be. And all alone, too. I see you go by the window, and I was hoping you'd come to call.
Oh, you poor souls! Have you divided up this room? Do you hate living together that much? Oh, you poor souls!
Oh, no. Ain't nothing to make such a fuss of. Folks don't want to live under each other's noses all the time. I don't know if anybody could stand it. Unless 'twas a goldfish. They seem to get along swimming around together.
Well, if this home could divide up these rooms into single rooms.
Oh, there's your car. You go get on your things, and we'll get ours. Miss Dyer, you come right through my setting room and get your things. You stay right here and get them on. So to be near the coast.
That door.
You sure you'll be warm enough? Here, you take my blanket shawl.
Oh, Miss
I
Blair.
got an extra one.
Miss Blair, thank you. Ain't this the crown of... Oh, here, let me help you with yours.
Oh, thank you, Miss Dyer. Yeah, I got a little trouble with my shoulder. It's hard for me to do this. Oh, you got a flannel petticoat.
Yes, I do.
Upper and under.
Mrs. Blair, Miss Dyer, are you ready? Do you need any help?
We're all ready.
Yes, we did. Oh, Miss Blair, you come right through my house. Save a step.
Isn't it funny? I don't know when I did it.
Oh, ain't this grand?